So first I will talk about the food preservation, how radiation can contribute to that, and then I will come to the agriculture. First thing you should know about any technology, why do you really require it? Do radiation of food is required? Any technology can survive only if you has really need based technology can only be successful or maybe required by the consumers or the people. First I will give the glimpse of our production. See, in the case of rice, India is the second largest producer after China. In the case of wheat also, we are the second largest producer in the world. In the case of maize, we are under 5 largest producer in the world. In the case of spices, you can say basically we are dominating in the world. Now talk about fruits and vegetables. Again, India is the second largest producer after China. In the case of fruits and vegetables too. This is the one part of the coin. Second part is that I have not shown the data because I don't feel to show it here. But see, this is sad to tell, our 20% of the population is below global hunger index. It means 24% of the population are not getting proper food. This is the international authenticated data. Now, what is the reason? One side we are telling our production is quite high, other side, and our rank is 66th among the top 88th country in the case of global hunger index. So these two things are quite contradictory to each other, not explaining what is the reason. And I will try to tell what is the possible reasons, and then next what are the solution radiation process can provide to that. Now, major culprit of this is post-harvest food losses. Yearly around 21 million metric tons of wheat rots in India. This is annual production of Australia. About 40% of our fresh produce and vegetables are lost before reaching the consumer. This is FAO data. One of the news clipping, there are many more. So you can see Hindustan Times writes 2 billion tons of food go waste each year worldwide. And India is one of the major contributors in that. Here, first thing, how food radiation can help. I will tell what food radiation is. You need to understand that is very, very important. This is basically a schematic diagram of the machine where radiation is exposed to the food. You put food in the box or tote box it is called through a proper control panel. You send inside the irradiation chamber where the source, what are the sources I will tell you later on, comes up, and then food rotates around that and then comes out. So everything, since radiation is used, radioisotope is used, the facility is quite well shielded, so the radiation should not expose unnecessary to the workers. And then once sources are not in use, they are kept under water so that there is no radiation leakage happening outside, and that's where food is exposed. So one point I want to make here, food never comes in direct contact with the radioisotopes or radiation sources. That is very important point. Next thing, you cannot use any radiation source or radioisotope for food applications. There are the only 4 sources approved by International Atomic Energy Agency, that is IAEA, for radiation application. These are, and I will tell you why so. These are cobalt 60. These are 2 photon, releases 2 photon of gamma, 1.17 million electron volt, 1.33 million electron volt. Cesium 137, that is 0.66 MeV, X-rays and electron beam. So only these 4 sources. You can ask why only these sources, why not other sources? Because you see the food, what the food consists of. Elemental part, you see it contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, etc. To make any element radioactive, what you have to do, basically you have to destabilize the nuclei. To destabilize the nuclei, the energy required is quite high, around 14 million electron volt or so. So you cannot use any radioisotopes, photon energy is quite high. That's why only these sources has been approved by IAEA, so that radiation can serve the purpose, but it cannot make food radioactive. And particulate energy source like electron beams, that can, because it does not have much penetration, that has been approved at the higher energy level. What advantage radiation processing can give us? I will give some of the photographs which has been done at the work has been carried out at the VRC. You can see the case of potato and onion. As I told you earlier, like we are the second largest producer in the case of fruits and vegetables, but around 40 to 50% are the losses. How the this underground vegetables sprouting is one of the mechanism. Once you harvest it and keep it, it sprouts very profusely. Even you keep in the cold room also, one thing, it requires a lot of energy. We don't have that, we are not energy sufficient that way. Another thing, once you take out from the cold room, this sprouts very profusely. Third thing, if you cold room stored potato cannot used by industry for chip making, because due to cold induced effect, the hydrolysis of starch happens and the sweetening develops. So once you fry it, it becomes brown. So these are the limitations, and that's why the farmer suffers, although you have the good yield, but many times they don't get the proper price. So here radiation, you can see the right side of the part of the irradiated product. If you irradiate this commodity, they will not sprout. So that sprouting can be inhibited by radiation processing, and the shelf life can be extended. This sample, you can see this, the recently conducted study at our laboratory. This is the kharif variety of the onion. Just in the gunny bag, it sprouts within 2 months. Where at the irradiated counterpart, you can see. Now it can give good saving to the farmers and control our post-harvest losses. Another thing, in fruits and vegetables also we are the second largest producer, but again that undergo spoilage. Here radiation can serve two purposes. One purpose is that there are two types of fruits you can see, like suppose you take mango. You can harvest in unripe condition and the mature condition, it get ripens during a storage. Certain fruits like lychee, if you harvest, you cannot ripen. So these are called climatic and non-climatic respectively. So for climatic fruits, which you can harvest in the hard mature unripe condition, irradiation can delay the ripening process. So you can keep the product in the market for longer period of time, and that's the way the farmers can get benefited. Another application of radiation is here, because all these fruits are source of also fruit flies. So many developed countries, when they want to import the product of the, such fresh fruits and vegetables, they want it to get irradiated, because they don't want fruit fly from other geographical domain to go in their domain and spoil their crops. So that's why US were not accepting Indian mango from last 18 years. And after once government of India set a radiation processing plant at Lasalgaon, that is called Krushak, then US FDA allowed Indian mango to be imported in the US domain, and this is the data you can see from one plant from 2007. Continuously India is irradiating mango and exporting to USA. Last year 750 tons of mango were irradiated. Quantum is not big, but because we have only one plant for mango irradiation. Now one more plant in private domain is working at Bangalore, and they are also, so next year probably we may touch around 2000 ton. So that's why, so this is the two applications. And beside these plants, when we are set, they are also doing other radiation processing of other products, like you can say here onion powder, allied products, Ayurvedic herbals, because they are also very heavily contaminated with microbes and their quality is not properly maintained. So once you irradiate it, microbes are killed and then quality is maintained. This is the photograph of the Krushak plant. Now after the successful story of the mango, we have also started working on the pomegranate for supporting the farmers to export pomegranate to the developing countries. And this year just a trial shipment of little amount was done, but probably next year the larger quantity is going to be exported. Third product which we have taken is lychee. That's why I told lychee is a non-climatic fruit. You cannot harvest in unripe condition. So this is the limitations. If you harvest in the ripe condition, it spoils very quickly. I don't know whether the Andhra people, they must have tested lychee here, or many of you must taste it. You have seen the lychee after 3-4 days of harvest, the color changes like this. And color of any fruit is the appeal. So one color gets deteriorated, quality also parallelly gets deteriorated, and we don't like to have it, and gradually within 7-8 days it spoils. We have developed a technology. We wash the lychee with 3 preservatives, and then you can see this lychee is 60 days old. 60 days old lychee we can keep at the cold room, and this technology has been purchased by 7 entrepreneurs. Even Madagascar has purchased technology from us, And now, uh, uh, so there is a big, you can say, development in the technology. The first technology transfer was done by Dr. Shekhar Basu, that time director BRC, currently he is the chairman of DAE. Then we demonstrated this technology to the farmers of Bordi, Maharashtra, where around 4,000 lychee plants are there. Then we also, this is transferred to the Madagascar. Scrimard, one of the major company of that country, they have taken this technology. We demonstrated this technology in Muzaffarpur, that is the hub of lychee production in Bihar, and we demonstrated to the farmers, around 100 farmers there. We kept the sample at their locations. Now after 56 days, the director of NRCL, that Indian ICR Institute, Indian Council of Agriculture Research Institute, National Research Center on Lychee, they have reported in the news that वार का प्रयास लाया रंग 56 दिनों के बाद भी शाही लीची एकदम fresh. This is their output. Now we have signed a MOU with ICR and NRCL to set a facility of 1 ton per hour treatment, so that Muzaffarpur lychee can be exported or traded across the country and outside the country also with a better quality. Another problem, you can see the case of pulses or cereals also. This insect spoilage is very much prominent. Once you irradiate it, you can store in the packed condition for more than a year. So pulses, although we are the largest producer, but our consumption is more, so we have to import pulses and oilseed very frequently. So, but how we can tolerate this spoilage of the imported commodity? Is it possible or is it justified? Not at all. So once you subject to the radiation, you can keep for more to 2 to 3 years even at room temperature. So that way radiation can help in control the post-harvest spoilage of the product significant extent. Spices, I told you, again we are the largest producer in the world, but again spices again prone to the mycotoxin contaminations, and then also the insect spoilage. If you pack it and irradiate it, you can keep for 2 to 3 years. The spoilage can be controlled. There is a New York Times report, new study from FDA showed that 12% of imported spices contain insects and possibly unsafe pathogens. Besides, what are the current practice is that you do the gaseous fumigation using ethylene oxide or methyl bromide. Now WTO has stopped to use of this, and it is going to be phased out by coming few years because they produce known carcinogenic compound in the product. Now you can judge as a consumer whether it is safe to have a carcinogen in the compound or just to subject the product to a physical energy as like your electricity and just keep your product safe. So that's why they are not accepting gaseous fumigated spices, because they contain carcinogen. An advantage I have shown in the photograph how radiation can save it. You don't require any chemical treatment or any gaseous fumigation. Government of India has set again for the radiation processing of plant at Navi Mumbai Vasi, and around 4,000 ton of product is being treated annually, and these are some of the product like which is being treated, chili, curry powder, etc. Then there are around altogether 15 plants in the country. I will show you the list later on. I have the data from some of them. This is another plant set by Maharashtra state government, Maharashtra State Agriculture Marketing Board. They have done around 198 tons of the product this year. Another plant, they are doing 855 tons of the product. Third plant, Bangalore, doing around 400 tons annually. So I have data from 8 plants together. Annually we are irradiating around 12,500 metric ton of the product in the country for our domestic consumption or mostly primarily for export. This is data from one of the plant at Universal Medicap, Vadodara. They are, so you can see the list. They are using cumin, aloe vera, turmeric, whole dried nigella, fennel seeds, etc. Wheat flour also they are doing. Now this herbals is another commodity. They are prone because our system, we go for the solar drying. When we expose the sample to the open solar drying, they are also prone to get contaminated with the microbes, and that's why that deteriorates the quality. So once you do, and solar drying is required for herbals and spices, you cannot keep in the moisture rich commodity, it will spoil quickly, rot quickly. So you have to do that. Okay. Acha, right? Okay, quickly. So now for this spices, this place foods also, they are rich in nutrients and prone to have pathogens, so radiation can kill those pathogens. There are some special purpose food like patients with weak immunity, radiation processing can decontaminate the product. We have developed out a product and it can decontaminate it, and that's why patient can take safely those commodity. Otherwise they are, once they are on chemotherapy or so, their immunity is weak, they are undergone diarrhea and so on after getting the food. We have also developed a product for the natural calamity victim, because we don't have proper food for that, and that food can also be applicable for the military applications when their military personnel is located at the remote places. So that's the radiation processing. This technology is safe. There is no problem with the microflora, and this has been approved by WHO, FAO, IAEA, and also by FSSI. Sorry, sure. Yeah. So government of India has this year approved this in 7 classes. This is the rule for our radiation applications. Almost any product can be subjected to radiation. And these are the, I told you, 15 plants which are operational in the country, radiation processing plants. And then 9 more plants are coming in coming 3 to 4 years. Besides, this is the post-harvest management. Pre-harvest management also DA has significant contribution. We have developed around 42 varieties of for the different objectives like early maturity or high yielding variety or disease resistant varieties. And that basically that if you see what the seed chain, there are different process, nucleus seed, breeder seed. So basically we are developing breeder seed. It's just a purity level goes down as you go down the different level of seeds. And these are the varieties that have been developed by VRC. Groundnut we have 15 varieties, mustard 3 varieties, soybean 2 varieties, sunflower 1, mung bean pulses I was telling again we are not able to fulfill our requirement. So mung bean we have 8 varieties, pigeon pea 5, urad bean 5, cowpea 1, and rice and jute 1 each. These are the some of the popular varieties of VRC: TAG 424, TG 37A, TG 38, TG 51 for the groundnuts. And you can see the variations and varieties. Some are large seed variety, high oleic acid, large seed, drought tolerance, biter adaptability in the different climatic zones. These are some of the groundnut breeder seed multiplication. Some of the farmers with the different yield, or you can say good quality of the produce. Some of the photographs from Andhra, Rajasthan, Karnataka, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh. This is one Andhra farmer. He recorded TG51 variety, recorded high in newspaper has cited that one. No, so breeder seed production, our contribution, ICR requires they reach the Indian to the breeder seed. We contributed around 14% of the breeder seed of the ICR requirement, and the quantum is around 2,461 quintals. And and we collaborate with the different institutions for production of breeder seed, different universities and different this ICR institutes. And then these are the wild seed varieties. You can see the mustard TMP1, then you have the soybean varieties, sunflower varieties, the different mung varieties which has been developed for resistant to powdery mildew, resistant to yellow mosaic virus, high yielding and so on. There are the urad bean varieties like BRC varieties, very popular now. People tell like any idli you are eating, you are getting the product of the what has been developed by BRC. So that urad bean variety is very very popular here. TU1, TU40, TU94, 94-2. Some pulses varieties for the different pulses, lentils also has been developed. Now beside that, we are also working on the plant tissue culture for propagation of banana, pineapple and sugarcane. Tissue culture by you can have the plantlets which can easily transport it to one to other place of the desired variety, and the cultivation can be supported. Beside that, now clean environment is also where we have a significant contribution in the term of Nisarguna biogas plant. You can see the biogas plant is not a novel concept, because initially the gobar gas concept you must have heard of. But what is being used there, it was mostly digested, where gas has been mostly released during the digestion process in the system of the animal itself. Here mostly kitchen based, that is not digested, being digested through the modified version of that system, and now we are getting gases also it helping in the keeping the environment clean, and also the byproduct is coming in the biofertilizer that is very good for the organic farming. This is one of the photographs. We have more than 150 plants operational in the country on that line. This is one plant at our institute at Katindar, having treating 1 metric ton of the product every day. Yes, yes, yes. So I want to thank this Indian Science Congress Organizing Committee 104 for giving me opportunity to share the work of department, and I want to thank our authorities and scientists at Food Technology Division and Agriculture Biotechnology Division and technical staff to taking this project ahead and contributing. Thank you very much.